There's a fire inside you. A fire that most people never even notice. A fire so ancient that it once fueled the survival of entire civilizations. A fire so powerful that it has built kingdoms and burned them to ashes. It's not loud. It doesn't scream for attention, but it's there, alive, waiting. This fire is your life force, a silent yet unstoppable energy that has been misunderstood by most people for centuries. Some feared it, some abused it, and most simply wasted it. But imagine, what if you could harness that energy? What if you could redirect that raw primal power toward building something so meaningful, so impactful, that it outlives you? What if, instead of letting this fire control you, you learned how to master it? That's what we're going to unlock today. We're going to expose the misunderstood power of sexual energy. And more importantly, we're going to reveal the secret of sexual transmutation and sublimation, two life-changing principles that most men will never hear about. These aren't just theories. These are the philosophies that fueled some of the greatest minds in human history. Napoleon Hill, the man who spent 25 years studying over 500 of the world's wealthiest and most successful leaders, seeking the blueprint of greatness, and Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, who exposed the hidden forces driving every human behavior, desire, and action. And today, you'll discover how they both pointed to the same hidden power, the power sitting inside you right now, waiting to be unlocked. When Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, people thought it was just another book about making money, but they missed the bigger picture. What Hill actually created was the psychological blueprint for building an extraordinary life. He spent 25 years interviewing presidents, industrial titans, artists, inventors, military leaders, over 500 of the most influential people in the world. And as he studied them, he noticed a strange recurring pattern. Among all the principles he documented, desire, faith, knowledge, specialized skill, there was one that stood out as the most misunderstood yet most powerful. It wasn't just discipline. It wasn't just focus. It was sexual transmutation. Hill wasn't afraid to say it out loud. Sexual desire is the most powerful human drive, and he was right. No other force pushes a man harder to succeed. No other energy can ignite the hunger to conquer, build, create, or destroy more than this one. It's a double-edged sword. When uncontrolled, it leaves men enslaved, weakened and defeated. But when mastered, it becomes the rocket fuel behind their greatest creations. So what exactly is sexual transmutation? Let's break it down. To transmute means to transform something, to change its form, its purpose, its direction. In this case, to transform sexual energy into creative power. Hill explained it like this: every time you feel that raw physical burning desire, you have a choice. You can either waste it, chasing short-term pleasure, getting trapped in addiction, and draining your vitality, or you can channel it, transforming it into art, wealth, innovation, leadership, and ultimately, legacy. He wasn't talking about repressing your nature. He wasn't telling you to run from your desires. He was showing you a better way, a path of discipline, direction, and creation, because sexual energy is creative energy. At its most basic biological level, it's the energy that creates life itself. And here's the catch: when you don't use that energy to reproduce, it doesn't just disappear, it stays inside you, building pressure, demanding release. And if you keep wasting that pressure through meaningless pleasure, porn, and distraction, you'll feel it. The fatigue, the mental fog, the lack of hunger, the loss of drive. But when you hold it, when you channel it into something greater than yourself, you unlock a force that very few men will ever experience. The fuel to build something the world will remember. And modern science backs this up. High levels of testosterone, when preserved and directed, give you something most men lack today: mind-stoppable drive, focused aggression in a positive, controlled way, relentless focus, unbreakable willpower. You become sharper, hungrier, more dangerous, but in the best possible way. Scientists have studied the neurochemical effects of controlling sexual impulses. When you resist immediate gratification, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and willpower, strengthens. This is the same region that separates humans from animals. The more you exercise this muscle, the stronger your ability to delay gratification becomes in all areas of life. Research also shows that conserving sexual energy increases testosterone levels, which directly correlates with enhanced cognitive function, improved memory and concentration, greater physical strength and endurance, heightened motivation and ambition, stronger presence and charisma. But here's the condition: this energy only works if you channel it towards something bigger than you. If you don't, if you keep wasting it on meaningless pleasure, you stay stuck. Hill gave us real examples, men who dominated history by learning how to dominate themselves. Napoleon Bonaparte, who turned his intense passion into one of the most powerful empires the world has ever seen. Bonaparte was known for his extraordinary focus and ability to work for days with minimal sleep when pursuing his vision. George Washington, whose iron discipline and leadership helped build a nation. Washington's contemporaries noted his remarkable self-control in the face of immense pressure, a quality that allowed him to lead through America's darkest hours. Thomas Edison, whose endless inventions reshaped modern life, powered by an energy most would waste. Edison often worked 20-hour days, channeling his creative force into over 1,000 patents, innovations that literally illuminated the modern world. Abraham Lincoln, a man of intense desires, who chose to channel his fire into justice, vision, and purpose. Lincoln's legendary self-discipline enabled him to rise from poverty to presidency, educating himself and developing the moral courage to hold a nation together. Leonardo da Vinci, whose insatiable curiosity and creative energy produced masterpieces across art, science, and engineering. His notebooks reveal a mind constantly transmuting raw energy into innovation, centuries ahead of his time. These men were not saints. They felt desire just like you, but they refused to be slaves to it. Now let's face the uncomfortable truth. Most men today are slaves. Porn addiction is at an all-time high, with studies showing that over 70% of men aged 18 to 34 watch pornography weekly, many daily. Instant gratification is everywhere. One tap, one click, one swipe away. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day, once every 10 minutes. Discipline, almost non-existent. Only 8% of people achieve their New Year's resolutions. Only 3% have written goals they actively pursue. We live in a culture that teaches men to give in to every urge, and we wonder why so many feel lost, empty, and depressed. The statistics are alarming. Depression rates have increased 30% in the last decade. Anxiety disorders affect 19% of adult men. Testosterone levels in American men have declined by at least 20% in the last 2 decades. Napoleon Hill warned us about this. He said most men never learn to control their sexual energy, and because of that, they live small, distracted, regretful lives. But it doesn't have to be that way. So, how do you take control? How do you start transmuting this energy instead of wasting it? Let me give you a simple, powerful roadmap. Step 1. Retain and build pressure. This isn't about forever denying yourself. It's about stopping the waste. Try it. Go 30 days without porn. 30 days without meaningless release. 30 days of focused discipline. Feel the difference. Feel how your mind sharpens, how your body feels alive again, how your hunger for creation grows. That pressure you feel inside, that's your fuel. Use it, don't waste it. During these 30 days, notice the changes. Days 1 to 7, withdrawal symptoms, irritability, strong urges. This is normal. Days 8 to 14, increased energy, clearer thinking, more present awareness. Days 15 to 30, enhanced focus, greater creativity, rising confidence, a hunger to build. This is your natural state, the state you were designed to operate from. Step 2. Redirect the energy. When that desire rises, because it will, don't suppress it, don't numb it, redirect it. Build your business. Channel that creative tension into solving problems, creating value, serving others with excellence. Go harder at the gym. Transform that primal energy into physical strength. endurance, and mastery of your body. Start that project you've been putting off. Use that burning energy to overcome inertia and take massive action toward your vision. Write, lead, create, move. Turn that raw energy into momentum. Create a transmutation ritual for yourself. When the urge arises, take 10 deep breaths. Visualize that energy moving from your lower body to your chest, then to your mind. Immediately engage in your highest value activity. Work with intense focus for at least 30 minutes. With practice, this becomes automatic. Your body learns that sexual energy isn't just for release, it's for creation. Step 3. Choose a bigger purpose. Sexual energy needs a mission. Without a clear goal, it will always fall back to indulgence. Ask yourself every day, what am I building that's bigger than my next moment of pleasure? If you don't have an answer, you'll stay stuck. But if you do, every small act of discipline becomes sacred. Every sacrifice becomes meaningful. Your purpose doesn't have to be grandiose. It just needs to be meaningful enough to outweigh temporary pleasure. Building a business that serves others, creating art that moves people, developing a skill to mastery, raising children with wisdom and love, contributing to a cause greater than yourself. Whatever you choose, make it concrete. Write it down. Visualize it daily. Connect every act of discipline to this larger purpose. And now, let's talk about Freud. Freud called this process sublimation, and while his name is often surrounded by controversy, this idea was one of his greatest gifts. Freud described libido not just as sexual desire, but as the core energy of life itself, an unstoppable force that must be channeled to avoid destruction. He warned that suppression doesn't work. Suppression hides the energy, bottling it up until it explodes in addiction, rage, or collapse. Sublimation, on the other hand, transforms that energy. It converts raw desire into creation, leadership, and legacy. Freud believed that all civilization was built on this principle. Without sublimation, there would be no music, no art, no science, no cities. In his seminal work, Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud wrote, "No other technique for the conduct of life attaches the individual so firmly to reality as emphasis on work, for work at least gives him a secure place in a portion of reality, in the human community." This wasn't mere theory. Freud himself was extraordinarily productive, writing 24 volumes of work while maintaining a rigorous clinical practice, a testament to his own mastery of sublimation. Look at history's greatest creators, Michelangelo, who spent years pouring his soul into sacred art. During the 4 years he painted the Sistine Chapel, he lived in monk-like conditions, channeling all his energy into his masterpiece. Nikola Tesla, who remained celibate most of his life, channeling his energy into inventions that changed the world. Tesla once said, "I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men." Beethoven, who despite going deaf, composed some of the most powerful symphonies ever written. His intense passion, which manifested in stormy relationships, found its highest expression in music that still moves us centuries later. Mozart, whose prodigious creative output, over 600 works in just 35 years, came from his ability to transmute intense emotional and sexual energy into musical genius. Steve Jobs, whose legendary intensity and drive transformed multiple industries. His colleagues often spoke of his reality distortion field, a force of will that bent circumstances to his vision. These were not men without desire. They were men who mastered it, who turned their fire into something eternal. The practical application. So how do you apply this today? Let's make it practical. Step 1. Recognize the impulse. Don't lie to yourself. Don't pretend it's not there. Feel it, acknowledge it, own it. Create awareness by noticing physical sensations without judgment, identifying emotional triggers that lead to waste, understanding your personal patterns. This awareness alone puts you ahead of 95% of men who act on impulse without reflection. Step 2. Create a higher channel. Give your energy a higher purpose. Write that book, set a daily word count, and treat it as sacred. Launch that project. Break it into small daily actions that compound over time. Train with intensity. Push your physical limits as a way to build mental strength. Build something that matters.
Define concrete metrics for progress. Every time the urge rises, link it to your mission. Say to yourself, this energy belongs to my purpose, not my pleasure. Step 3. Train delayed gratification. Learn to wait. Strengthen your self-control. Build a morning ritual that sharpens your focus before you reach for your phone. 5 minutes of meditation, cold shower, writing your 3 most important tasks, rating something inspiring. Write. Make journaling a daily practice to process emotions and clarify thoughts. Study. Dedicate time each day to mastering your craft. Reflect. End each day by reviewing your actions and realigning with your purpose. Build. Take one concrete action toward your legacy project every single day. Step 4. Elevate your environment. Surround yourself with people, art, and symbols that remind you of your highest self. Your environment will either pull you down or lift you higher. Choose wisely. Practical steps. Audit your 5 closest friends. Do they elevate or diminish you? Clean and organize your physical space. Chaos outside creates chaos inside. Fill your walls with art and quotes that inspire greatness. Create a sacred workspace dedicated solely to your mission. Remove easy triggers. Lock down your devices. Eliminate mindless browsing. Step 5. Embrace the warrior's path. The ancient samurai understood this principle well. They knew that sexual energy and warrior energy came from the same source. Develop daily practices that build your warrior spirit. Physical training that pushes your limits. Stoic exposure to discomfort. Cold showers. Fasting. Hard work. Meditation to strengthen mental control. Strategic rest and recovery. The goal isn't just abstinence. The goal is transformation. From consumer to creator. From follower to leader. From ordinary to extraordinary. Let me leave you with this inside you. There's a fire, a raw, ancient power that once shaped human history, and today, it's sitting in your hands. You can waste it on quick fixes, cheap thrills, and empty pleasure, or you can forge it into impact, creation, and legacy. You are not weak for feeling desire. You are human, but you were made for more than meaningless pleasure. You were made to build, to lead, to leave a mark on this world. Napoleon Hill showed us the map. Freud revealed the alchemy. But walking this path, that's up to you. Every great man, throughout history, has faced this same choice. Every empire, every invention, every masterpiece, came from those who chose wisely. The fire doesn't care how you use it. It will burn either way, but only you can decide. Will it burn down your potential, or will it forge your legacy? So I ask you, right now, will you master the fire, or will the fire master you? If you found value in this message, don't forget to subscribe to The Seeker. Join our brotherhood of men committed to mastery, purpose, and legacy. Thank you for watching.